What is up, my friends? It is Tuesday afternoon's Anfield Agenda news roundup, and I hope that today finds you all in good spirits. I'm going to go through all the latest news over the next 8 to 10 minutes, as always asking you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, and please do hit that subscribe button. Look, let's get straight into it today. I'm going to give you a bit of an update. Apparently, Joshua Kimmich of Bayern Munich has his heart set on a club. The problem for us is that club isn't Liverpool Football Club, according to the Daily Star, who believe that he has his heart set on a reunion with Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Now, I've got to say, this to me isn't a massive surprise. I've been saying for a while that I did think that is the most likely place he'll end up. I can see a situation where they move Calvin Phillips on and then free up the space for Joshua Kimmich. So keep an eye on that situation, but again, I wouldn't be expecting it to end well from a Liverpool perspective. Next up, my friends, we're going to speak about Ben Doak, who has been working very hard to try and get himself back up to speed and full fitness ahead of the new campaign. He's been spending time up in Scotland working with Empire Performance, making sure that he is ready to go for the new season, and we like to see that. Sacrifice is being made from the young man, and we hope it pays off for him. We know what a talent Ben Doak is. We signed him from Celtic for £500,000. Now we just hope that he lives up to that potential. But these are always good signs when he sacrificed some of his holiday to make sure that he can get himself as fit as possible before the new season. Right, finally it seems like the reality of the situation is starting to dawn on Liverpool Football Club. At least that's according to James Pearce, who said Liverpool are considering whether to strengthen at centre-back following the departure of free agent Joel Matip. So look, this is good news because one, it means we finally realise we are looking to do something in the centre-back area. But here's what I don't understand and what I don't like. This idea of Liverpool are considering whether to because of Joel Matip ... We knew Joel Matip was leaving for at least 4 or 5 months, let's be honest. So I don't understand this, again, narrative being put out like it's only dawning on the club now we may need a centre-back. We all know the situation. If the journalists are going to refuse to call out what is blatantly obvious, then I believe it falls on us to do it for them. Liverpool need a centre-back, Liverpool need another forward, and Liverpool need a central defensive midfielder. That should be a non-negotiable point with fans. What I find myself annoyed about with many of the journalists these days is they aren't asking provocative questions, they aren't asking probing questions, they are mere cheerleaders for the football club and are pawning off whatever they are told. And it doesn't sit well with me. We're supposed to be able to challenge these narratives. That is what fans and journalists are supposed to be able to do. So we're going to keep doing it for you. Next up, my friends, we're going to talk about the fact that apart from that, a defensive midfielder is also being discussed, according to James Pearce. And again, these are good news, but this is good news, but they're also bits of information that we've known about for quite a long time. Do keep an eye on the situation with Anthony Gordon, though, as the summer goes on, because I don't think we've heard the last of this. Now, apparently Liverpool are one of the clubs to have inquired about Leeds United winger Crescencio Somerville. None of that is really breaking news, but it is in the news today, so we thought we'd bring it to you. For me, I'm going to be honest and say I've never really known all that much about Crescencio Somerville, but it does feel like if we were really interested, we would have probably moved earlier in the window, and also it would feel like a bit of an underwhelming signing, if I'm being really honest with you. So one of the two big points of today's video is going to be around Mohammed Kudus and Rayan Ait-Nouri. And right now I'm going to speak about the Mohammed Kudus situation. So unfortunately, his release clause is no longer able to be activated in this summer transfer window. That's at least according to Fabrizio Romano, who said Mohammed Kudus' release clause worth £85 million is no longer valid for this summer transfer window. The clause expired on June 30th as called by ex-West Ham United employee. West Ham are optimistic to keep him at the club. Kudus under contract until 2028 with an option to keep him there for another season. This doesn't mean that he is impossible to get, but if that was the release clause, I can imagine that West Ham are going to ask that or upwards of that if anybody is to inquire for his services. So for me, yeah, I'm going to go as far as to say I think this is dead. I don't think there's anything to this anymore for us. Whatever chance we would have had there would have probably been if we were going to trigger that release clause. We sat back, we didn't do it, and I think that should give us an indication that Mohammed Kudus is not going to be one of the players that Liverpool go after in this window. Remember, if we could pay the release clause, that's one thing, but now we'd have to go in and negotiate, and they're going to negotiate upwards of the release clause. They're not going to listen to offers below that, which is probably why Liverpool haven't moved from, because it is a a rather significant sum of money for a player that we could have gotten a lot cheaper if we just took the dive or took the plunge before West Ham did. So I'm going to say that this one is in the bin for this summer transfer window. One that isn't in the bin though, and that very much has legs to it, is the interest Liverpool have in Wolves left back Rayan Ait-Nouri. This isn't a new link, this is one that goes back at least a year or so, but has always had some credence to it. David Lynch, speaking on the situation, said, definitely legs to this one, just because he's been linked so frequently to Liverpool, and Liverpool have a good relationship with his agents, so I think that there's definitely something in that. That's good news, because for me, we could do with strengthening that left back. Not looking to come in and replace Andy Robertson, merely more to put pressure on Andy Robertson, and I don't think Kostas Tsimikas can do that. So I'm going to make a prediction in this window that we see Rayan Ait-Nouri come to Liverpool Football Club and that Kostas Tsimikas moves on before the end of the summer transfer window. And honestly, I think that's good business. What we can't have happen is that to distract from our core business in this window, which is to add squad places. We need to get a centre-back, a defensive midfielder and a forward, preferably a wide forward into the squad. That's without replacing anybody. So Ait-Nouri to me would be a replacement, but maybe the club have views on having 4 centre-backs or 4 full-backs as well that can play in a varied amount of positions across the back line. Ait-Nouri could certainly do that, but for me it would be good news if he came to the football club, because I do rate him highly as a player, and I'm sure you guys do as well. I've not really seen too much with regards to a transfer fee for Rayan Ait-Nouri. But remember, if he does come in, he would be one of those players we would lose during the African Cup of Nations, as he'd be taking part with Algeria. And it's believed that the African Cup of Nations is going to come again December, January of this upcoming season, or January into February, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, but it is what it is in the world of football. Now, with regards to Anthony Gordon, Fabrizio Romano has also said Newcastle asked for big money for Gordon and the price was simply too high for Liverpool. Anthony Gordon, according to this piece, is keen on a move to Anfield. If Newcastle drop their price, there's a possibility Liverpool come back in, but as it stands, it does look like the number that was being asked about is just too high for us, and I don't mind that as long as we do get the right players in the right positions. If they viewed Anthony Gordon as, let's say, £100 million winger, I don't think many of us here would agree that he's worth that kind of money, especially when you see what else is out there. I have one option, Nico Williams. He's the one for me. It's been the one for me for the last 6 to 9 months, and he's still the one for me right now, and he has a release clause. He's lighting up the Euros with Spain. Looks like they're going to go deep into the tournament, albeit they have a very difficult quarter-final coming up against Germany. So for me, if there is one winger we could bring in, 45 million release clause, and then sort it out with his wages, that would be the move that I would like to see Liverpool do. One last thing before I finish up in this video, and it isn't my idea. I want to give credit to Anything Liverpool who did suggest this on X. They said, with Adrian set to depart, would Liverpool take a punt on Rui Patricio, who is a free agent this summer? I've got to say, I think this is a great shout from our friends at Anything Liverpool. If you could get him in to become the second or third choice goalkeeper, should we lose Queevy and Callagher, he's very good experience, obviously part of that Portuguese Euro squad as well, somebody who our club would know very well from his time in the Premier League with Wolves, and I think it would be an astute piece of business, certainly if it was a number 3. I think Rui Patricio would be a brilliant idea. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Would you be up for Rui Patricio coming into the club, or do you think maybe we could do better for a third or second choice goalkeeper? We still haven't got definitive confirmation that Adrian San Miguel is going to depart back to Real Betis, which is of course where he started his career, but it's believed he's going to turn down Liverpool's offer of a 1-year contract extension and go back over to join Real Betis. So that is pretty much it from me, my friends. I will be back tonight later on around 10 o'clock with another news roundup. Hopefully we have a little bit more to chat about then. I will catch up with you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.